Welcome to the Artist Forum. I'm Elliot Torres. On today's episode, we'll focus on women who put the independence in independent filmmaking and their art. Both are excellent examples of women who followed their passions and didn't let go of their dreams. Welcome to the Artist Forum. I'm Elliot Torres. My first guest is Kim Cummings, an independent filmmaker whose most recent film, In Montauk, was released earlier this year on DVD and was screened at several film festivals this spring. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I had the opportunity to view your film and I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
And your film, the main character of the film, Julie, struggles with basically trying to remain an artist and what it is to remain an artist with the obstacles of the day-to-day. Were you inspired from personal experience?
I was. First of all, I have to say I did not go out and have an affair when I got pregnant. But I was inspired because when I started writing this script, I had twins that were very young. And it was exhausting. And I was struggling with, am I a mom? Am I a filmmaker? Who am I? I didn't really know. So I wanted to explore a character who was going through the same struggle a little bit earlier in the process. She's on the cusp of success when she's newly pregnant, and she's trying to figure out what to do with that.
Okay, and I know that this is your first feature-length film, and so how long did it take you to create this film from start to finish?
Wow. Well, I guess I had a script, and it started when my DP, Brian Dilg, said, you know, technology has gotten so good, you could shoot a feature film doc style and do it very quickly and cheaply if you had a script with just a few characters. And I said, great, let's do it. And so I started rewriting the script that I had in 2009. And we shot, that was early 2009. We shot at the end of 2009, the beginning of 2010. And then it took another 2 years to edit it. So the whole process was about 3.5 years.
Okay. And we're actually going to show the trailer from the film, which is very provocative. But let's go ahead and see the trailer.
Are you hungry?
I'll be next door if you need me, so.
You know what? I could use your help tomorrow. Now put your left arm a little bit up, a little higher there.
Are you good?
Surprise!
Josh!
So how exactly are you helping my wife? You're pregnant? Oh my God! That's great. Hey.
I don't think I want it.
What is that asshole doing there at this hour?
Josh, I'm sorry.
Jules!
I need to make an appointment.
As a female filmmaker, what are the challenges of making a film like this and being able to basically get your name out there throughout the process?
Well, that's about 10 questions in one. But as a woman, I think one of the hardest things is I think we tend to wait for permission. So the first thing I had to do was give myself permission to make the film. Say, I want to go out there, I want to do this. I had a script, I had a little money, and I used locations that I had available to me, which is how we ended up in Montauk. And I just talked it over with a few of my close friends, Brian, my DP, Jeremiah Kipp, who was my co-producer, and Lucas Hassel, who played the composer, and said, what do you guys think? Are you behind this? And they got behind me 100%. So just saying I'm going to do it was the biggest hurdle. In general, for women, I think the funding is not there. The publicity machine for female filmmakers is not out there in the same way. If you look out who are the independent filmmakers that are out there making films, generally you'll see 10 men and 1 woman. You know, you go to festivals. I've often been the only woman on a panel. My film has often been the only female-directed film in the festival, feature film in the festival. So it's definitely difficult. It's difficult whether you're a man or a woman. I think for a woman, it's just that much harder.
And what was the difference between shooting this film and you've done several short films prior to this? So what was the process in terms of, you know, the difference between those two and how, I'm sure, I mean, it was on a much grander scale.
Yes, it was. Well, it's funny because I did a short about 15 years ago called Wiki Wachi Girls that was 22 minutes. So I thought, okay, a feature is going to be 4 times harder. I was wrong. It was exponentially more work. With a feature, there are a lot more moving parts. You're shooting for a longer period of time. I did it with actually a much smaller cast. This I did with a cast of 8, and I mean a crew of 8. And it was just location-wise, everything just seemed that much harder. And also we shot for 7 days in Montauk, 12-hour days, which is, if you've ever been on a film set, is actually short for an indie film, and then 3 days in Queens. And then I think the editing took much longer than I expected. It was a much longer process, so everything was longer.
What advice would you give to aspiring filmmakers who want to follow in your footsteps, or female filmmakers who would like to do exactly what you're doing?
I'd say figure out what you have, how much money you have, and what equipment you have available to you, and who you know, and go do it. That's really the only way. You can wait years for somebody to give you permission, but I would say just go out and do it, because the best way to learn how to make films is to make films.
And also, one thing about the ending of the film, which I found very thought-provoking, what were the reactions in terms of at the festivals, at the screenings, from the general public to, or even the critics, to the ending?
Right. Well, the ending is fairly ambiguous. I have what I was thinking in mind, but what I found is that everybody makes up their own ending, what they think happens next, based on their own experiences and based on what they bring to the film. But I had a lot of people, it really sparks a lot of conversation. It sparks a lot of conversation about motherhood, about the choices we make, about what we give up when we become mothers, from women of all ages. Women thinking about having kids, women who have had kids, women who are well past childbearing years, who it causes people to think about their own choices. And even I had an older man who had a very interesting reaction. And he said, she's making a big mistake. And I thought that was interesting because it was enough to evoke a reaction from an older man too.
That's interesting. All right, so what can we expect from you next? What are you working on right now?
Well, I am working on a feature film. I'm in the final stages of the script, and then I'm going to get it out there. For this film, I'm hoping to raise money to make it. In Montauk was funded through my husband and myself, and then I got some grants, and I did some crowdfunding for post-production. For this, I'm hoping to have the funding up front and to bring a more experienced producer on board to go ahead, and hopefully within 2 years, you'll see another film with my name on it.
Nice. Well, I definitely look forward to seeing it and definitely having you back on the show to talk about your new film. If you'd like to learn more about Kim Cummings and her film In Montauk, please visit her website at inmontauk.sirenstalefilms.com. The Artist Forum. Get connected, be heard. The Artist Forum is a place where artists of all disciplines can network, collaborate, and exchange information and ideas. You want to know when to catch us? Well, then log on to tvguide.com's local listing section. You can also see us live on the web via Manhattan Neighborhood Network's MNN.org. On the Artist Forum, you'll see interviews with New York City's emerging talents in theater, dance, music, the visual arts, as well as the written word. We'll jump the velvet rope to get interviews with entertainment industry's top insiders, as well as some of its underground talents. Expose yourself to the Artist Forum. Show us your work. Invite us to your performance. Do you have questions about the business? Do you need help better focusing on your career? Or maybe you just want to post information about an upcoming project? Well, log on to our website, theartistsforum.org. The Artist Forum, on the pulse of community activities and events. I'm Elliot Torres, and I'll see you on the Artist Forum.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today.
Aww, you should pick that up.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Our next guest is artist Kim Kalesti. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thank you, Elliot. Thanks.
It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank
so
you.
What have you been up to?
Well, this winter, since it was a really cold winter, I was hibernating and just getting away from the scenes that I had been in before, just to get in tune with my creativity, which I'd like to do as an artist, because I think we're always changing and expanding. And my daughter gave me a camera and showed me how to do iMovie and some other things on the computer, and then I started producing some of my poems. So I created this, I think I did 22 poetry videos, which are scenes of New York City, talking about my philosophy and just my observations of people and what people are doing.
So is your poetry inspired greatly by New York City?
Yeah, it's inspired by observations that I make that people are doing, or feelings that I have that I want to express, and they have some of them have music, and some of them have. I go to different places, and like I did some stuff at a church, and I was playing the piano, and then I inserted those things. So there's a lot of different variations of that.
You say you care, and love is there. So why can't we just live in love? You say crackling eyes beneath my feet, and love as I walk, cold, desperately in love. So why in time. Can we just live? It might warm. Whisper so soft. Melt a heart. I start to wonder, what is he the one? Only my footprints. My true love affair. Remembering when soon another snow. All was too fair to blow in, and no one would ever, disguising anew, ever compare. White delicate snow, something about him lay gently upon. The sound of his voice leaves me entranced. I can't live without him. No one. Won't you give love a chance? No one will know how my heart is broken.
Every day I get up and I write. I also write choral arrangements to my original music.
Okay.
And I just recorded an album with some really great singers. I've been living as an artist all my life, and I've been through a lot of changes, and I find that I really didn't want to be defined as one thing. So I kind of took a break from anybody seeing me in New York so that I could do that. Because when you do something over and over again in the same way, then people title you for that, and I didn't really want to be defined as an artist. So if and when people come up to me, they'll know me as that particular art form.
Gotcha. So you jump from one from one art form to another, just depending on what you're inspired by and what you're inspired by to do.
Yeah, and how I want to express myself.
And what is there one art form that you lean towards more? That's
well,
more of a passion than the others, or do you feel the same way about all of them?
Well, I feel the same way about all of them. Yet the singing, my voice, I was blessed with a really, strong, expressive voice, and I've been singing professionally since I was very young, and that has, allowed me to travel the world and to see the world and to experience the world through my music. So singing is one of my main instruments. It was the one that, got me to this point, and then. Finding, not just being a singer, but really understanding the world of being an artist and the philosophy that it doesn't have to be a goal, but a lifestyle. And, that was really important, to me, because I wanted to be sustainable and keep my spirit up and always innovate in myself and reinventing myself.
And do you find that people react differently to your work in various parts of the world where you've performed?
Yes, I do. They love my voice, because I'm very in tune with my emotions, and I love to tell the story, and then I worked on my tone for a long time, and then on top of that, I was able to express my own philosophy with writing songs. Like one of the songs that that they like it's called "Do You Want to Stay in Your Little Room?" And it's about resentment. Everybody likes that song. I'll sing a little bit for you. It's do you want to stay in your little room with the windows locked and the curtains drawn? Do you want to live in your memories? Do you want to stay in your little room? Do you want to cry thinking of your past, building up resentments to make them last? Do you want to live in your memories? Do you want to stay in your little room. Come out and play in the sun. Come out and play, have some fun. Whether you're old or you're young, have a little fun. Now is the time to enjoy your life. Now is the time, don't waste your life. Don't sit around wasting precious time. Call all your folks, tell them you're sorry for all the things that were said. Seem like a real negative that you can change to positive. Rewrite your story from pain to glory. People like that one.
I've been treated to a live performance.
They come up to you and they said, wow, I really needed that song, or I want to play that song for my relatives or something.
That's funny.
Yes.
So, and where, if people are interested in getting your work, where is your work available?
It's at kimkalestimusic.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I just wanted to shout out to you because I spent a lot of my beautiful life raising kids, you know, like women, like it's the most important job that you can ever do. And I just wanted to tell the female artists out there that it's okay, you know, to have these beautiful children to raise and to nourish your soul and your spirit, because you're going to get it all back at the end. And even if you have to take a little break or from your performing, you know, because I had to, and I chose to actually, and you know, you can always keep writing. Like I have volumes of compositions that, you know, that are going to be heard one day. And now my grown-up children, AC Lincoln, he's an amazing tap dancer. He's danced all over, and also he has a new single coming out called Senorita. And my daughter also, Emily King, she's going she's been all over the world performing, and you know, it's beautiful. It's like I just feel like I'm just so happy and graced with all these talented friends, and even Amos, who started the Artists Forum. I met him when we were going to the ASCAP meetings, and we were like, wow, like how are we going to get nurtured? And and Amos was like, well, I know how, because I'm going to start an Artists Forum, and that's how I first met Amos, and I want to shout out Amos for that. And thank you so much, Elliot, for, you know, having me on the show.
Oh, thank you. It was definitely a pleasure to have you here. Kim, so what are your goals with your work, and what would you need to make that happen?
Well, the internet has allowed me to be sustainable. A lot of music and a lot of projects don't get to be heard because they all need funding. That's why they have Kickstarter and those things. And I don't know, as a creative person, I don't feel comfortable asking people for money, and I don't feel comfortable with that. God gave me a talent, and it's like, it's really hard to put my mind around having to ask people if I could be heard. You know, like, are you God too? You know, right. So I find my salvation on the internet. And so I'm going to keep producing my music and my poetry videos and my poetry, because I recite my poems, and I put music behind it and stuff, and I have that on Bandcamp, kimkalesti.bandcamp.com. And that's how I find my comfort as an artist and my sustainability, because in 100 years, maybe somebody will discover Kim Kalesti.
Well, we definitely have today, so it's definitely a pleasure hearing it.
Thanks. Thank you, Elliot.
Also, what advice would you give to artists that, people that want to follow in your footsteps, or artists out there who are questioning, whether or not they should continue as artists or?
Well, I think we're all creative beings. You know, we're creating our lives as we go along. With every moment, with every second that every decision, it's accumulating to, you know, to our lives. And having music and a form of to express ourselves is really important. And whether you choose to make a living doing it, or if you just want to do it because it just nurtures you, and it's really important to our society to create a better society. And for those that want to, you know, continue in the industry, be creative with your business, and, you know, I mean, fame is very tricky. Like, I feel like, you know, even though maybe you're just seeing me for the first time, it doesn't matter, because inside of me, when I'm in my apartment and I'm creating and I'm writing the work, I feel like it's metaphysically going out to all the dimensions and the galaxies of all the world and all the world above us and below us. And we have to understand that, the spirituality of our being and of our art itself. You know, and that's what I say to people, and that's what I say to the young people. It's just a pleasure, and it's not about the fame, but it's about sharing your talent, because people really need to hear this singing, and they need to, you know, see your artwork, and they need that. We all need that.
Yeah, it's true. It's
right?
true, and I'm happy I got to see it here today.
Yeah,
it was
thanks.
definitely a pleasure. And it was a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you so much, Elliot. Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more about Kim Kalesti's art, please visit her website at www.kimkalestimusic.com. I'm Elliot Torres, and we'll see you next time on the Artist Forum.